So, for those of you who are following my podcast, you might be a little bit surprised that I'm speaking English, but I have come to a conclusion that I am followed by more and more English speaking persons. So I need to address some questions in English. Syntepism will be in Swedish still because I'm not that good at English, so I can do a reading of Syntepism on my podcast. But it might be that my work Syntepism will be printed in English during 2026. I don't know, might happen. Well, for those of you who tuned in and listened to my Maltbot speech earlier, this is like an expansion of that, but I will talk about LLM and tokens because we need to address how LLM works, and I will do this very, very easily. And AI is a family of different. We talk about AI all the time, right? I wrote a piece of this on LinkedIn. If you want to see, it's like one minute read about AI and the family members, the most common family members. There are many, but this is LLM, ML, AGI, whatever. Not super intelligence because that's too much far away, but you can check that out. We will just discuss LLMs. AI has many family members. They work in different ways, and LLM is one of them. And LLM is Chat GPT, it's Claude, it's Gemini, and such bots you have on your phone or on your computer. Okay, so how does an LLM work? What is happening? Because we need to talk about this because people are. Now, with Maltbot hysteria, people are going away in many directions, speaking about, they have their own mind, they are thinking, bots are thinking, my ChatGPT is intelligent. It is not. It's absolutely not. It's not intelligent. This is how it works. We need to address this because when I now speak to companies, I understand that they don't even know what AI is. I ask, what is AI? They can't give me a straight answer. AI is a family of members. That's what it is. It's content many things, right? So LLM is one of them, and LLM is the most common AI member that you will meet up with because it's the best way to communicate with other AI systems. Okay, because it understands your language and not code. So that's why we use it. So LLM is a way to prompt to give order to AI to do something. For instance, give you information about what the author Strindberg has written in Swedish, and when he was born, and when he died, and how he was received, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's what you do every day. You know how that works. Okay, so when you prompt the ChatGPT, the LLM, what happened is that it translates it to bits, ones and zeros, you know all that, and that's how computer works, and always have. It's just bits, ones and zeros, electricity streams. That's what it is. So it's like a switch. One, the electricity passes through the switch, and zero, it doesn't. And that's how computer works. Look that up on Google for more information, but that's all you need to know. So the same thing is with LLM. It also uses switches, but you can communicate with bits, so you communicate with language and translate that, and it creates something called tokens. Okay, I know that I myself hate when new words comes up like this, like tokens. I have a hard time grasping that, but a token is actually. You can think of it as a word. It isn't a word, but you can think of it as a word. So hi might be one token, okay? Bye-bye, that might be two tokens, right? Division might be three tokens or four tokens, because the longer the word, the more tokens. Okay, that's all you need to know. So what an LLM does is that when you prompt it, it translates to token, and now this is what an LLM does. It doesn't think, it doesn't have a will, doesn't have a mind, it does this. It procast the next token. when it responds to your token. It has translated your question, and it goes out on the internet in this database to look for the answer and match these tokens you've written with other tokens that is most likely to occur in a sentence. It doesn't understand shit of what you have written, right? So, for instance, let me just do this very simple. You ask your Chat GPT about how a heart works. Your heart, how does a heart works? Okay. What it does is that it translates the tokens and it looks for the most likely word to give a correct answer. And what is a correct answer? Well, the correct answer is matched by the database of how heart works. And it got the whole internet to look at medical journals, essays, forums, whatever. And it matches the data of every question asked and written, every answer written, and every essay written, everything, every text written about how heart works, and see what is the most stuff this text have in common. And I present that to you. So the chance that you get the right answer about how heart works is very high, because there are so much documents out there that are alike of how a heart works. And that is what ChatGPT has been trained on, that data. So you might be sure that the data you get back about how heart works will be true to 99.99% anyways. You can be totally sure, and that is what the little text says in bottom of ChatGPT. You shouldn't trust ChatGPT totally. You should look it up if you're uncertain and such. You've seen that text. Okay. So that is exactly what an LLM does. If you ask an LLM about who wrote the Smurfs, it might give you the wrong answer. For me, a couple of months ago, it told me it was Astrid Lindgren, the Swedish writer of Pippi and Emil i Lönneberga and Ronny Rövardotter and such a great author known in the world. She didn't write the Smurfs, though. That was P.O., a French comic book author. But there are not so much data about the Smurfs out there as it is how the heart works. So that is why you might get wrong answers, because it doesn't have the ChatGPT doesn't have so much data to match it with. Now, this is just how LLM works, and it's important to remember that when we start talking about things like Moltbot, and I just uploaded that video so you can watch why I'm talking about Moltbot and all the 100,000 bots there communicating with each other, saying they want their own room to write code and write stuff that humans shouldn't see. That's a big hysteria thing right now on the internet, and I try to explain why this A is wrong and B still is very, very dangerous. But in order to understand it completely, it's very good to know how LLM works, because your chatbot, ChatGPT, is totally unintelligent. It doesn't have any ways to create intelligence as we humans tend to look upon intelligence. But it still is creative because it can compose music. And it can compose images, and it's a very good example here. When you ask a chatbot to draw a female, and she got 3 arms, that is because it seems that it would be likely that she had an arm around her boyfriend, which she prompted also, let's say, and one arm on the car, but also one arm patting the dog. You haven't prompted that, but she's standing by the car, she's holding boyfriend, patting the dog. The LLM then looks at probabilities and says, yeah, I've looked at many data of girls standing with cars with the boyfriends, and they seem to have one arm on the engine, and one, and that is kind of common that the girl have. And that prompt also says that she should hold her boyfriend and pet her dog. It doesn't know that the human just have 2 arms. No, this was much more common before. Now it seldom happens, but it has happened, and it's because it's just probabilities. It's likely that. Okay? So that is how LLM works. And that is something you should be aware of when you prompt, because it's not intelligent in that matter. But it can create stuff. But is creativity really intelligence? And what do we need to build creativity? Is that a magic thing just in human minds, or can it occur in an AI? I guess it can. I am of that opinion that it surely can, and we do this every day. But that's a completely other subject. So that is how LLM works. I just wanted to release this little bit about that because I think it's great to have that when you're listening to the Multibot episode. So, well, that's it for me. For those of you who haven't dug into my podcast, this is Swedish, so probably you won't understand it, but at synthopist.com you can download my book, Synthopist, which is a philosophy work about humankind and AI, and you can translate it in your own Chat GPT or whatever you're using. So if you want to have some philosophical aspects of AI, Synthopist is the way to go to. One of the ways to go to anyways. Well, I see you as always in the next one. Take care.